Good morning. I wanted to share this morning just a few minutes for families, especially as Washington Westfield Schools have asked me to create a couple of videos during this really stressful and challenging time about how we are all naturally functioning sometimes from fear. And our brains literally have a negative bias. And so when there is something that feels unfamiliar to us, it feels scary, it feels worrisome, we tend to look in that direction and feel all of those emotions. And I want to share this morning, that's the most natural experience we all probably are having in moments, and we'll jump back and forth between feeling some calmness and then feeling that negativity. And our children are mirroring what they see and feel and experience from us. And that's not a bad thing, but it's just important for us as parents and as educators and just as a community right now to acknowledge when we are feeling those stressful moments. I have this silly looking mannequin this morning because we use this in the classroom. And I use this as the kids come in. We have toothpicks with little flags. And when they come in, they check in and they will share what part of the brain that they are, coming from. And so I thought this would be really, you don't have to have this mannequin. So you could use just a piece of paper. You could draw just a big circle. You could be creative in a way, find something around the house where the kids can really, without talking, because sometimes you just don't want to talk about anything, but they can share maybe a sensation that they're feeling. So we know that the brain stem down in this area is the place where our stress response begins. And so that brain is built from the very back to the front and from the inside out. And so our natural innate tendency is to experience any stimulus. It's a thought that we have, it's a feeling we're having. It doesn't have to be outside of us. It can be a stimulus from the inside, just kind of a knee-jerk reaction. So this part of the brain gets activated, and what happens is if it stays activated for a long period of time, it shuts down this prefrontal cortex. And this prefrontal cortex is where we do, where we think clearly, where we pay attention, where we have the ability to stop and take a deep breath. So oftentimes, many of us get really kind of hijacked, or we really become lodged in these lower brain regions. And so this is a very simplistic model, but and the brain is much, much more complex than what I'm sharing today. But the brain stem is, comes on board first, and then we have the limbic system up here where the amygdalae are located. That's the smoke detector of the brain. And then after that, developing into our mid to late 20s or early 30s, we have this prefrontal cortex where we do life in school. So the only time where we are able to really think logically and to really make some great decisions for ourselves is when we're functioning from here. And so I want to share in this series of videos how we can get ourselves from here to here within a minute or two. Or maybe it's not even from here to here. It might be from terror or great fear to maybe feeling anxious or a little worried. And then we might start to feel a little bit, calmer. But the most important resource that all of us have that is a part of our everyday beingness is our breath. And so I encourage you as parents and as teachers to really be intentional about taking those 3 deep breaths and creating a longer exhale so that your heart rate lowers, your respiration lowers, and your blood pressure lowers. It's breathing intentionally that can get us calm, moving out of that survival brain state and into this state of what Dr. Steve Porges calls social engagement. And it's where we are able to feel just a little bit more well-being and a little calmness. Please understand that it is natural to be moving back and forth all day long in different areas of the brain. But our brains are built for resiliency, and they are built to repair and heal, and they are constantly trying to find that very balanced homeostasis where we can think clearly and we can pay attention and we can focus. So I will be returning with different videos, but I think it's really an important way, whether we're exercising or breathing or using art or rhythm or just naming what we can tame with art or a visual image, is really important to use on ourselves in this time and to model that for our children. So have a great day.